Assalamualaikum to Madam Nazifa Binti Hamidun. We are from Group 1. We are here today to present regarding the impacts of being cyberbullying among teenagers. Before we begin the presentation, let me introduce our group. This group consists of 5 students. The first member is me, Megavarman A, Shamsil Arifeen. The second member is Azra, Qaisara, Binti Abdul Rahman. The third member is Muhamad, Zafran, Zainol, Abidin. The next member is Atiqah, Binti Amran. And the last member is Megavarman A, Gunasegaran. Without further ado, we will begin the presentation with an introduction presented by Muhammad Zafran.
In this day and age, which has been made more modest by innovation, new age issues have been conceived. Most likely, the invention has a ton of advantages. In any case, it additionally accompanies a negative side. It has brought forth cyberbullying. To lay it out plainly, cyberbullying alludes to the abuse of data innovation to annoy others. In this manner, cyberbullying comes in different structures. It does not really mean hacking somebody's profile or presenting to be another person. It likewise incorporates posting negative remarks about someone or spreading bits of gossip to criticize somebody. As everybody is up to speed with the informal organization, it is simple for anybody to abuse the entrance. At the end of the day, cyberbullying has become standard these days. It incorporates activities to control, annoy, and criticize any individual. These antagonistic activities are genuinely harmful and can influence anybody effectively and gravely. They happen via web-based media, public discussion, and other online data sites. A cyberbully is not really more interesting. It might likewise to be somebody you know.
The background of cyberbullying. There is plenty of history and background on cyberbullying since it has been around for a very long time. Cyberbullying takes place when people use technology to harm others. Methods of cyberbullying can include threat, sexual harassment, spreading lies, impersonation to post material, to wreck a reputation, destroy relationship, or cause other troubles. Making someone the topic of ridicule or scorn in discussion forum, chat room, or website. The posting of compromising photo taken without the victim knowledge or permission, or the editing of photo to embrace or impugn, like pasting the victim's face on a nude body, and developing a person's confidence to trick him or her into divulging secrets or embarrassing information. Next, most parents believe that they are purchasing a telephone for their child for protective reasons. The other could also be true, as many youth admit to utilizing their phone as an instrument of cyberbullying. The application like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is usually considered the pioneer of social media. This site allows users to make their unique profiles and interact in cyberspace with friends and peers alike. Publication of non-public information is dangerous because it will enable many of us to determine a side of an individual more often kept private in face-to-face interaction. This vulnerability puts many teens in the same position as either the victim or active offender partaking in cyberbullying action. Another aspect of social media that may be misleading and dangerous is that the ability to make allies profiles. The power of teens to mask their identities provides them with a chance to mention anything to a different individual without the fear or any repercussions. Social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and many others.
Most welcome, Atiqah, for explaining about background of cyberbullying. Next, I would like to continue about impact of cyberbullying. The impact of cyberbullying can be categorized into 4 categories: emotional effects, second is mental effects, third category is behavioral effects, and the last but not least is the physical effects. First one is emotional effects. The impacts of being cyberbullying on the casualties range from mellow to severe impacts. The first impact is felt powerless. Victims of cyberbullying often find it difficult to feel safe. They feel vulnerable and powerless. Typically, this is often because the bullying can invade their home through a computer or mobile phone at any time of day. They do not have an area where they will escape. To a victim, it appears like bullying is everywhere. Additionally, because the bullies could remain anonymous, this could escalate feelings of fear. Those targeted don't have any idea who is inflicting the pain, although some cyberbullies choose people they know. Rage. Many victims of cyberbullying will become enraged as a consequence of what is happening to them. In fact, research shows that the most common reaction to cyberbullying is rage, followed by being upset and worried. Victimized teenagers may even plot vengeance and engage in retaliation. Aside from the potential for trouble, this approach is risky because it can keep them trapped in the bully victim cycle. While it is always preferable to forgive a bully than to exact revenge, this is often easier said than done. If the teenagers appear to be enraged by cyberbullying, it may be beneficial for them to speak with a counselor or therapist who can teach them how to channel their rage in a productive way. Meanwhile, the revenge is also can be added automatically into themselves. At times, victims of cyberbullying will blown up about what's baffling them. Thus, they plot, vindicate, and cooperate in counter. This methodology is hazardous because it keeps them bolted inside the domineering casualty cycle. Always good in every case, preferable to pardon a bully than it's to urge even. After this, Azra Qaisara will continue explaining more.
Thank you, Zafran. Secondly, as for my opinion, they might feel humiliated since cyberbullying happens on the internet. That based harassment feels perpetual. A few people realize that when something is out there, it will generally be out there. They feel uncovered. When cyberbullying happens, the frightful posts, messages are frequently imparted to many people. The sheer volume of people that understands the harassment can cause serious sentiments of embarrassment, isolation. Cyberbullying can cause teenagers to be excluded and ostracized at school. As a result, they frequently feel alone and isolated. This can be a terrifying experience because friends are so important at this age. Teenagers who do not have friends are most likely to be bullied. When cyberbullying occurs, parents may advise shutting down the computer or turning off the phone. However, for many teenagers, using these devices is the primary way they communicate with others. Turning them off frequently means disconnecting them from their surroundings, which can make them feel more isolated.
In the mental effects category, in my personal opinion, cyberbullying will causes the interest in what happens with the surrounding. When cyberbullying is progressing, casualties regularly identify with their general surroundings uniquely in contrast to other people. For some, life can feel sad and good for nothing. They lose enthusiasm for things they once appreciated and invest less energy interfacing with loved ones. They may likewise feel impartial in the study. Cyberbullying victims regularly have a lot higher absence in class than non-bullied. They skip classes to abstain from the confronting the individual harassing them, or because they are humiliated and mortified by the shared message. Their grades endure as well, since they think that it's hard to focus or study due to the tension and stress the harassing causes. Furthermore, they will either quit the study or lose enthusiasm for proceeding with their education. My second opinion is cyberbullying will cause a lack of confidence. Cyberbullying frequently focuses on what already makes victims feel vulnerable. For instance, teenagers who are self-conscious about birthmark may be bullied because of it. Even if it is not the case, online bullying can hurt self-esteem. Bullying victims may develop strong dissatisfaction with themselves. As a result, they may begin to question their own worth and value. According to researchers speculate that cyberbullying may cause psychological maladjustment, decreased well-being, and ultimately low self-esteem. Because young people have an instant psychological need to be a part of an accepted peer group.
Depression and anxiety. Victims of cyberbullying may develop anxiety, depression, and other stress-related disorders. The additional stress of dealing with cyberbullying on a regular basis can rob them of their feelings of happiness and contentment. It can also heighten feelings of anxiety and isolation. Increased levels of cyberbullying are associated with increased levels of depression, according to research. According to one study, 92% of cyberbullying victims reported feeling of sadness, powerlessness, and hopelessness. The most crucial impact caused by cyberbullying is suicide. Cyberbullying builds the danger of self-destruction. The individual continually tortured by peers through instant messages, texting, web-based media, and different outlets regularly start to feel miserable. They may even begin to feel like the best way to escape from the agony is through self-destruction. Thus, they may fantasize about taking their life to get away from their abusers. On the off chance that somebody you know is being cyberbullied, don't excuse their sentiments. Be certain you convict day by day, find a way to help end the torture, and close steps on changes in disposition and conduct. Get the individual in question assessed by a medical care professional. If they see any character changes whatsoever to the victim.
Thank you, Qaisara. I would like to talk about behavioral effects. Behavioral effects. Teens who are cyberbullied may exhibit the same behavioral changes as those who are bullied in other ways. They may, for example, lose interest in activities and engage in secretive behavior in extreme cases, or when bullying continues for extended period of time. Children may exhibit for more significant behavioral changes. These are some examples. Using drugs or alcohol, teenagers who are harassed online are more likely to abuse drugs or alcohol. In fact, one study discovered that targets of cyberbullying were 2.5 times more likely than their peers to use marijuana or binge drink. Second point is skipping school. When teenagers are cyberbullied, the thought of going to school can be overwhelming. As a result, it is not uncommon for them to skip school or behave in a such way that they were suspended. According to one survey, those who have been bullied had 2 or more suspension or detention in the previous year. Third point is carrying a weapon. Even more worrisome is the fact that cyberbullied teenagers are more likely to bring a weapon to school. In fact, one survey found that victims of cyberbullying were 8 times more likely than their peers to have brought a weapon to school in the previous 30 days. For the next effect, I would like to pass to Atiqah.
Thank you, Mega. My point is physical effect of cyberbullying. Being targeted by cyberbullies can be devastating, especially if a large number of teenagers are involved. Feeling overwhelmed and stressed can manifest physically, resulting in problems such as disordered eating, gastrointestinal issues, and sleep disturbance. First point is disordered eating. Teenagers who are cyberbullied may change their eating habits, such as skipping meals or binge eating. It is because their lives feel out of control. They turn to their eating habit as a source of control. These efforts may develop into a full-fledged eating disorder, particularly if the bullying has resulted in a destroyed body image. Next point is gastrointestinal issue. Bullying stress can also cause or worsen conditions such as upset stomach, abdominal pain, and stomach ulcer. Teenagers or children may also experience frequent nausea, vomiting, and severe dehydration. The pressure of harassment likewise can cause pressure-related conditions like stomach ulcer and skin condition. Last point is sleep disturbances. Cyberbullying can disrupt a teen's sleeping patterns. They may experience sleep problems such as insomnia, sleeping more than usual, or nightmares.
Thank you, Atiqah. Conclusion. Cyberbullying is an issue in social orders that are progressed enough to have the innovation to interface with others on the web, and it's not effectively fixable. Cyberbullying can influence anybody, yet in generally unmistakable in the present youth. In the event that we can ban out the terrible conduct right now of the bad in the age, they are probably not going to proceed down the way. Shockingly, this is not simple errand. This will require schools, particularly guardians, to know about the issue and follow up. Taking out cyberbullying will require a joint accession and would like to be killed overnight. In the event that the administration is eager to acknowledge that cyberbullying is an issue, law can be set up to help demoralize this action. Indeed, even still, parents and schools should eliminate and stop the behavior now. Then the law should be necessary. So school and guardians know about the teenagers are doing on the web and their telephones, and act in the event that they are accomplishing something that they should not be. On the other hand, cyberbullies need to be shown the impact of their activities and strengthen their social and communication skill, moral reasoning, empathy, and conflict resolution skill. Non-judgmental and resortive approaches has been shown effective to stop cyberbullies repeat their behavior. As a precaution, never post personal information during a digital world where information is often at our fingertips. As a society, we tend to need to share everything about our lives on social media. It is viral to think before we post. It's going to be tempting to think that nothing bad will happen, but it's always best to use caution. Minimizing or completely reframing from posting sensitive information could be a great step toward limiting your personal risk and decreasing the chance of becoming a target. The second thing we are able to do is don't answer an angry message with anger. Sometimes it reaction strictly what accessors are searching for because they are think it gives them power over us, and we don't want to empower a bully. As a retaliating, getting back at a bully turns us into one and might turn one mean act into a sequence reaction. It can remove ourselves from the truth. If we can't sometimes humor, disarm, and distract an individual from bullying. Thirdly, never open messages from strangers and don't forward chain messages. We must always not open messages from the bullies. Additionally, they do not read them or reply to them, as this may encourage the bully to continue along with their threats. Moreover, reading the messages may prompt the victim to counter-attack the bully by sending more threatening messages than what was sent to them. This could cause a rise in cyberbullying rather than stopping it. Additionally, if the messages are from instant messages or through chat, the victim can block the bully instantly so that the message don't undergo. Thank you.